Hello, Prehistoric Kingdom friends. First of all, I'd just like to apologise for not being around for the last dev diary, but I do have it on screen and we're just going to quickly go over it before jumping into the May one. So you probably will be well aware of that the update 11 public test branch is now available to play in game, and along with that we have a new species, which is the Leelnasaura. Is that how we're pronouncing it? I think it is. Again, it's in game, and Nigel does a wonderful job of introducing it, so we'll get onto that as well. There's also some new background props and so on and so forth. So we'll just scroll down and have a look at just the things I really want to highlight. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one. So first of all, we've got some really nice snapping with fences, which is really cool. And this is quite cool, how you can like change the fence, which snaps to it really nicely as well. We have now some gates, which are staff gates, and that moves us on quite nicely to the next update. But before we do that, just want to highlight the basic theme props here. So background. Backstage, it's been a long day, guys. It's backstage props that we have here. These are absolutely fantastic. This notice board is my favourite one. I would love to just hop into the game and just have like a bit of a deep dive into it, because the language that has been written on that board is hilarious, and it just really showcases Prehistoric Kingdom's team's sense of humour with the game. So didn't really expect to see what was written on that board. So if you have the game and you want to go in and have a look, then definitely check out these boards here. But yeah, really nice backstage stuff here. I really like the sink. I have replaced a couple of these things in the park that I'm currently building, so that's maybe something we can look to in the future. And then we also have a new species reveal, which is the Plateosaurus. Really thought this one was coming, to be honest. Wasn't entirely surprised when it got when I seen it in the dev diary. I was like, oh, okay, yep, kind of thought so. But yeah, gorgeous dinosaur. Really looking forward to having this I was going to say little guy in the park, but it definitely is not little. But she is absolutely gorgeous. And then we do have an update on the animal nursery, and there's more like kind of UI features that have been added. And then the big one, which is now available in game, is this feature here. So in game, you can like go away and search now, and it'll give you like a description of the dinosaurs. And this is the coolest feature, which actually helps me out a ton, because what it is you can click on this little record the sound, and Nigel will pop up and introduce his narratives to describe or introduce the dinosaur or mammal. And prior to this, I would spend absolute ages, and I'm talking ages. Usually it would be Nigel would pop up every 15 minutes. Every 5 minutes with dialogue. And I would sit and I would watch the dinosaurs backwards and forwards. And I would just, I mean, it's not a bad thing. They're gorgeous to look at. But I would just wait for that dialogue to pop up, and then I would record it, edit it down. But now it's there for me just to press play. So that is a really, really cool feature. But yeah, we can go into this in more detail. But what we want to talk about, I've just had a quick read through this, is the May Dev Diary. So this is all about staff, which is really cool. And one thing that we do have to like quickly just acknowledge, which is right down at the bottom, obviously saving the good stuff to update 12, but we have the ANKYLOSAURUS, which is coming to Prehistoric Kingdom, and we're going to get our very own Bumpy, which is a reference to, was it Camp Cretaceous? Really, really looking forward to this absolute tank coming to Prehistoric Kingdom. So that'll be in update 12. But let's get back to what I was talking about before, which is staff. So we're getting staff, as you can see here. So this is going to be a keeper who will come in and look after the animals, and we've got gorgeous Plateosaurus here. This is very much heavy work in progress, as they have mentioned throughout the dev diary. They do want to add like more features to the mechanics of the staff, but in update 11 for the testing, they are going to be adding it soon. So the staff and the Plesiosaurus will be added soon. So talking about the logistics of it all, they have mentioned how the system will work, and it makes you think more about the gameplay of Prehistoric Kingdom, which I do love. It's not just the sake of, you know, you place this down and then, you know, magically stuff appear. They've actually really thought about the logistics of it. So we do have a loading bay, and basically this imports resources for animals and guests, and it can hold a small amount of items. And then we've got this really cool animation here. So it says that when resources are collected by staff, a truck will depart to replace your missing inventory. Return later in the month. Downtime between deliveries can be improved by purchasing up to 2 additional trucks per loading bay. So that's basically how that works. So first of all, we have the loading bay, which all your stuff gets brought into. Next, we have storage. So this is your storage modular here. So since the loading bay can run out of room, you'll need to eventually expand your storage. Storage modulars for goods and produce can be strategically placed around the park to shorten delivery times in the long term. I think what happens is a staff member, which is our labourer here, will take it from the loading bay to the storage modulars. So they'll take it from this building here and put it into this building here. Makes sense so far? Hope everyone's following along. But as a player, what you will be able to do is you can selectively block certain types of resources. So you can see here in this little screenshot that this particular storage unit will not be receiving these items. So I think it's saying we're not going to have meals or merchandise to be delivered to this particular building. So even though it does kind of make you think more, they are trying to make sure that you don't have to clinically micromanage everything, which I think is a really good take on things. So let's talk about laborers. Smooth. So basically what these do is they will be running about your park in this beautiful high-vis jacket. That is absolutely gorgeous. And another thing I kind of want to highlight whilst we're talking about the uniforms is the Prehistoric Kingdom uniform. Merchandise when? Prehistoric Kingdom, please. I don't need the gloves, but I do need this top. Their role is to transport resources around your zoo, taking meals and merchandise from the loading bay or good storage in order to restock kiosks, restaurants and gift shops so that the visitors have products to buy. And they do like to move it, which I did have a bit of a chuckle about that. And then back to the keepers. So you can see here the keeper is going through this door here. We intend to make keepers push wheelbarrows. Curious to know is, will a keeper just be happily walking into an Acrocanthosaurus habitat or a T-Rex habitat? Will it know fish's friend, not food? Keeper is friend, not food, which is obviously a reference to Finding Nemo. If you know, you know. And then what they do with their invisible wheelbarrow there is that they will feed the feeders. They will basically restock the feeders, which is incredible. And as they've said here, the size difference just really puts like everything into proportion of how magnificent large that these animals were, which is really a bit mind-blowing to actually like see the scale. So we do have a keeper there. And next thing we want to talk about is once obviously the animals have eaten, they will poop. So your keeper will be taking the dung, manure, poop back into the compost heap, and then that gets moved to the produce station, which means that the more poop and animals and, you know, things that you have to manage, obviously this has an effect on how much food that you can produce, which is including the plants, fruit, meat, fish and insects for the animals, which is just sums it up beautifully. It does say that without these stations here, that it will continue to generate food, but there'll be a heavy reduction rate. So really, poop matters in your parks, and if you want to feed your dinosaurs, collect the poop, put the poop in, produce the food, feed the dinosaurs. It's a beautiful ecosystem. Love it. I don't think I've ever said that about poop before, but there we go. So a couple of final thoughts here, that the staff are still very much a work in progress, and they have had some funny quirks, like the staff will literally go quickest path to get to their destination, which means that they can be wandering through the desert as long as they know exactly where they're going. But that's just, little quirks that they need to iron out before it's released into the game. Another thing that they'd like to quickly draw attention to is staff gates, which they can be used everywhere, or well, anywhere. Which is really interesting, because this will then help so much with backstage area, which will be essential for maintaining high park beauty. They're also going to be improving the modular group UI, so you can see here that when they are grouping stuff, there's an easier way to see everything that's grouped together, which makes it a lot easier. And you can see this little GIF here where you can toggle between everything, which I think is really cool. That's a really nice, sleek feature. And then we also have a feature where players can now toggle their lights to be on and off, which is really cool. Just in case you just don't want those lights to be on throughout the day, which makes completely sense. And then there's a little bit of an update to the Paleopedia, which is currently in game at the moment. I kind of touched on that at the start of the video as well, so really cool features. And then what's basically left is to talk about, well, we already talked about the absolute tank coming to Prehistoric Kingdom, but again, we have got the ANKYLOSAURUS. Bumpy is coming to PK, which is ultimate news. We also have some concept art for messages. I was really surprised to see this. I think this is such an awesome feature. And really interesting how you can interact with your staff, which gives it a more of just a human feel about it, because you tend to, in management games that I've experienced anywhere, you tend to hire staff and then you just let them do their thing. They'll feed the dinosaurs or mammals, and then they'll go on a break, and you don't care about them. You don't care that their landlord is putting the rent up, so they want to increase their salary. Do we have enough to do that? Or we can't do that? And then do we get another message because of the interaction that you've had with them, that they will then say, well, sorry, I can't work here anymore. And then you're going to have to, either negotiate or basically find a new staff member. And that's insane, but incredible at the same time. And then down here, you can also have a little message with Nigel Marvin himself. Nigel will pop up and give you a little message. And I guess, again, these are, I don't think you'll be able to, interact with these chats, but it might just be oh, okay, I acknowledge that kind of thing. Really cool. Onto the Trello board very quickly. So here we are just now in update 11. So we have this in game ticked off, staff, which is coming on a little bit later on. And then we're going to have guest pathing, guest a art overhaul as well. Bins and benches coming, and then this is already ticked off as well. So we are getting there. I would say we're halfway through update 11, which is really cool. Update 12, we've got the Apatosaurus, then we've got the Brontosaurus and the ANKYLOSAURUS, and then we're getting a new modular theme and a new map. What could the new map be? I'm not entirely sure. And then later on, update 13, we've got socializing and herding and packing overhaul needs. And then further on, we've got even more updates. So lots of new species coming to Prehistoric Kingdom, but we're getting there. We are getting there. So do let me know in the comments below from the past or current Dev Diary which feature you are most excited about. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. So until then, take care.